Hi everyone. Today I'm presenting the Project Reading 1 discussion on the paper Coming Back into the Loop: Drivers' Perceptual Motor Performance in Critical Events After Automated Driving. We all have been anticipating the future of automated vehicles and how it's going to affect the traffic conditions and lives of the people. Most of the people are excited to embrace this technology to serve us well in the coming days. We hope that this system will help in increase the flow and capacity of the road networks, reduce the energy consumption in some ways. So different researchers in the past have shown that this might be the way forward to reduce the road traffic accidents. If not fully automated, we are at least introducing the partial automated system so that drivers are relinquished of the momentary control and supervision of their vehicles in long commutes. However, we need to consider the poorly marked lane boundaries or unpredictable road traffic conditions that makes it difficult to maintain the automated mode in real-time scenarios. So it's imperative for drivers to switch to manual mode from time to time when this happens. We all can think about the ways we will utilize our time in automated mode. We will try to focus on work or any recreational activity. Thus, for moments of time not focusing on control and supervision of the vehicles. This definitely will lead to reduction of the situational awareness or lack of attention span. Um, the shift in attention potentially hampers the driver's ability to perceive the situation. Um, in some regards, they can't comprehend the changes that are happening in the road, and mm, they cannot predict the events that requires their attention. So when this kind of intervention to take over the vehicle is there and there's a lack of attention, so this is referred to as out of the loop, which is OOTL performance problem. Um, we have been tracking the various distracting tasks that were incorporated to see how it affected the driver's performance in previous papers, like 20 question task TQT or maybe engaging in mobile phone conversations. So those resulted in shorter brake reactions. Moreover, also the ability to change the lane safely and quickly for the drivers were also affected. Here, we are shifting our focus on the non-driving related tasks that demands visual attention on different levels, and the comparison of those effects of those tasks were taken into account. These studies illustrated how vehicle automation affects drivers' visual attention coming back into the loop. The degree of visual information available to drivers during automation and its comparative effect on the perceptual motor performance during the takeover is still not clear with different experiments. So here the question is, how can we define good performance when this kind of thing happens? Um, the goal of this research was to examine this very issues with different researchers, various parameters incorporated to analyze the driving performance. To name some of them, they are like time to engage automation, which most of the experiments use, which is like they take over time. They also look into the reaction time to avoid an obstacle, or the first gaze after the transition at the center of the road, or various braking behaviors that could be observed, the actual time between the initial brake application and the full emergency braking. So with all those things in regard, this current study was doing the takeover time and time to react to a threat in the environment. Well, mostly drivers are deprived of all visual information from the system, and the road environment would be the furthest for OOTL groups. Therefore, takeover control latter and have least consistent perceptual motor control than those who perform visual and non-visual tasks before the takeover or the pre-takeover. However, drivers who had access to all visual information during automation were hypothesized to be the most in the loop and would therefore take over control the earliest um, and have most consistent perceptual motor control during transition. Finally, talking about the results of this paper, the OOTL manipulations were mostly observed to be resolved within 2 seconds. But this is still not clear if it ended there or had an effect on the driver's perceptual motor control. So, um, regarding the paper's conclusions, so when there was less visual information available to the drivers during automation, then the later they were able to take over the control. In totality, no difference was found between the OOTL groups regarding how long it took drivers to begin a collision avoidance maneuver. In fact, the paper concluded that the degree of visual information provided pre-takeover did not influence whether and how drivers scale the rate of their response to situation criticality.